How you going, guys? It's the Board Game Bully, and this is a series I'll be doing. Basically just a what we played this week. Maybe weekly, maybe once every 2 weeks, depending on what my other commitments are, because as much as we'd love to, we can't just play games all the time. So this series is going to be devoted to games that I played this week at my myriad of games groups, but don't own a copy of myself. Games that I own a copy of myself, I can get a couple of plays, I can give you a full in-depth review of them. But these ones, I might have only played once, I might have played them 50 times, but I don't have them here to show you the bits, go through the rules, see if the rules make sense. So we'll just be giving them just a little brief chat, a little brief video, we're throwing them all together. I've made myself a new Board Game Geek account, so I can log this plays specifically for this series. So, I think we'll start best to worst. On Sunday we played Evidel. Evidel came out in 2018, has a geek rating of 7.8. I, however, rated an 8.5. Now that 8.5 may be a little bit biased because I was playing with all of the expansions. And I have to say, I went into this game thinking, I'm not going to like this. And the reason I thought I'm not going to like this is because the group, when I got to board game group, they were like, oh, we're setting up something light over here, they're setting something else a little heavier over there. I'm like, oh, heavier, I'll play heavier. And then, I don't know, I guess I felt a little bit discriminated against, because they looked at me and like, oh, are you sure you're used to this sort of weight and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I have 100 games at home, like I think I'm okay. And then we played Evidel, and it was long. It took like 5 hours. That's not a heavy game. That's not a heavy game at all. And I think I proved that because the 2 new people at the table, myself included, came first and second. So, yeah, I think, you know, making sure that everyone is aware of what sort of game you're playing is a valid concern, but I think you need to be really careful how you do it, because that really did turn me off this group a little bit. I don't know, apparently I don't give off the vibe of someone smart enough to play a worker placement game, because that's all it is. But it's a really fun worker placement game. You're doing tableau building at the same time. You know, you've got a limited amount of spaces in front of you that you can fill. There are a bunch of places that you can go to on the map, especially with all the expansions. The expansions, you know, it doubles the spots you can do, it doubles the way you can get points, sometimes even triples, because there are a lot of expansions for this game. It introduces these little animal meeples. My only criticism of those animal meeples are there is one, the falcon, that allows whoever controls it to draw every time someone else draws. And we were drawing so much, we went through the deck like 3 times. I swear that added like 40 minutes to the game alone. So that, you know, bogged things down a little bit, and the person playing it didn't do particularly well, so I don't know if they misused that power. It seemed like it added game length for the sake of game length, really. But no, really fun worker placement, tableau building game. You got to manage your resources, make sure that you've got the right buildings for the right season. One of the expansions added in a little expedition that you've got a rabbit off going to do the expedition, so you've got to make sure you can hit all the requirements for that expedition at the end of the game. There was a lot going on. And I don't know if it was just me, but you know, the 2 people that were doing the best at the table, we played with 4. I felt the whole game that I was doing terribly. And I kind of like it when a game makes me feel like that. Like, I like being able to look around the table and not instantly know, oh, well, that guy's clearly winning. You know, it was very tense. You know, there were only 3 points between first and second, and then another 3 points between third. So you're looking towards the last season of the game, like, I need to get points any way I can. You know, I was getting a character out that gave me 0 points, but had an ability that let me give 2 berries to someone else and get 4 victory points. And then I would put that out, and then on my very next turn I would send it to the dungeon so I could get something else out that gave me just 1 victory point. because that's how important victory points are in this game. Really great game. I wouldn't recommend playing it with all the expansions though, because you are going to be there for 5 or 6 hours. But yeah, Evidel, loved it. 8.5. Next up, our next best, we have the Resistance Avalon. Different board game group. A couple of nights previous to this. We ended up playing this 6 times, and anyone who's played, you know, these sorts of games with me knows that I'm always a good guy. It just always works out that way. So I was Merlin in our first game, playing with 9 people, and I didn't know one of them. No one knew me at the table. I knew no one at the table. I think at most there were like one person knew another person. I think that was the most. There was a couple of twofers there. So I was Merlin, but I play the Resistance and the Resistance Avalon the same way every game, and that is I talk. In a deduction game, I talk. I will talk if I'm the good guy. I will talk if I'm the bad guy. I will talk if I'm a special guy. And that did me in our first game, because I was like, this guy's talking way too much. He's obviously Merlin. I was. But then, you know, the next 5 games, I was a good guy. Wasn't Merlin. Talked every single time, and we won every single game apart from that first one. So, yay! But yeah, if you haven't played the Resistance Avalon, everyone gets a role. It's hidden. Some people have special powers. Most people are just, you know, normal, good guy, bad guy. You do a vote. The king, the crown will go around the table. Those people will pick people for an expedition. You do a vote. If everyone or a majority say, okay, cool, that group's good enough, they go off into the expedition. If there's a traitor in amongst the expedition, they can play a fail card and the expedition loses. And this is all done secretly, and cards are shuffled before they're revealed, so no one knows who is who. It can be fun with the right group, but because it is so group dependent, I only give it a 6 out of 10. Board Game Geek give it a 7.3. So they say this game is like just as good as Evidel. No. I give it a 6 out of 10, which is still good, but games that are so group dependent like this, I just don't love. I can go and play games at a games group where I know someone annoys me, and that's fine, because we're just sitting there, we're just playing a game. But if you play a deduction game with someone that, I'm gonna just, it's not good for me. I don't know, I find them very hit or miss. Next on the list we had Codenames. Played Codenames the same night we played Resistance Avalon. We only played it once. Woo! I rate Codenames a 5 out of 10. I just don't find it that fun. You've got a bunch of words out in front of you, and 2 teams, and 1 person on each team is giving clues. 1 word, 1 number. So you're trying to link as many of the words together as you can based on the little sheet you have of which words your people need to guess. It's just not that fun for me, really. I've played Codenames Duet, which is way more difficult, and I would much rather do that. Codenames Pitches, again, I think that's just more accessible. I can play that with more people. Yeah, I've never gotten Codenames. I don't know why it's so popular, but especially the base Codenames, I would rather probably play any. I don't even like Disney. I think there's a Codenames Disney. I'd rather play that than just the normal Codenames. I just don't find it that good. Moving right along, another 5 out of 10. We played Bang the Dice Game. In Bang the Dice Game, again, hidden information game. Everyone has a secret role. You've got Sheriff. The Sheriff's job is to kill all the outlaws and the renegades. You've got the deputies. Their job is to protect the Sheriff. And then you have those outlaws and renegades. Outlaws need to kill the Sheriff. Renegade just needs to be the last man standing. You roll dice. The dice do things. You also have a player card. The player card gives you a special power. I had played this before, a long time ago, but no one at the table had played it. And I think the character powers are a little too much. I don't know how the game is very just roll dice and see what happens. So I don't know how the game would play without those character powers, but it seemed to be something common at the table that everyone was forgetting about their character powers. I was the sheriff, and I won. So, you know, yay, party games, woo. Who cares if you win a party game, honestly? But they're the only games I've won recently, so I care a lot. A lot. And moving on to the last game that we played this games week. Oh yeah. I rated this a 1 out of 10. This is rated 5 point something out of 10 on BoardGame Geek, and if you're responsible for this by being higher than a 1, there is something wrong with you. I played the card game. No, sorry, the game. The game. It is a card game, but it doesn't have card in the title. So, in this game, there are like 4 rules to this game. There are a bunch of cards. Some of the cards will have a black word on it. And if it has a black word on it, I believe you say the color of the background. So it'll be a black word printed on a red background, you would say red. If it has a colored word on it, you would say the color of the word. So it would have the word yellow written in blue. You would say blue. Pretty, you know, self-explanatory, just flip. Aha, you didn't say the word right. Nah, you're dumb. Fine. Whatever. Here we go. Rule 3. If the word has a swear word on it, you say the swear word. Now, this game was designed in Australia, and I understand that we as Australians have a love affair with swearing. I don't want to play a game with a card that makes me say c***, because I just don't need to do that to get laughs in my life, you know? I actually know how to tell a joke, tell an anecdote, just have a normal conversation with someone. I'm not socially repressed and living in a basement. Nope, don't need it. Oh, rule 4. If the card says f***, you never say the word f***. Never. Because that would be going too far. Sure. No. 1 out of 10. And that's only because I don't think you can go smaller. If you could go 0.1 out of 10, I would do it. I will go and look. I will go and look right. Let's do it right now. Let's see. I don't need to go anywhere. Let's see. Can we lower our rating of this? Your rating. Bang. 1. Edit. 0.1. Save. No, it just goes back to a 1. We tried. Anyway, they're the games we played this week. Leave in the comments what you played. If you disagree with any of those ratings, please let me know and we can hash it out. We can go keyboard warrior about it. Yeah, I'm a bully!